It was 1990, if I'm not mistaken, and I was in Northern California speaking for the shliach there on the subject of modesty. I didn't know it at the time, but sitting in the audience was a vice president of Harper San Francisco, a publishing house. He approached me afterwards and he said, "Do you know that this is the hot tub capital of the United States? If you can speak about modesty here, you probably have a book. You should write a book, and we'll publish it." The result was that about a year later, Harper published a book and chose the title, "Doesn't Anyone Blush Anymore?" The idea being that there's a certain sense of modesty which, when violated, causes us to blush. When we lose that sense of modesty, we don't blush anymore, or we blush for other reasons. So they chose that title as a good summary of what it means to be modest. In promoting the book, I went on to various radio interview shows. There was one guy, very liberal, and he was arguing that there really is no need for all this modesty. What are we hiding? Why are we so secretive? What is the problem? He says, when I have a house, it's going to be open to everybody. There are no secrets. In the course of the conversation, I wanted to make a point using an analogy. I said, for example, how much do they pay you to do this show? He blushed. He said, whoa, that's a little personal. I said, how much money you make is personal, but your bedroom is not? What a strange sense of modesty. So yes, people still blush, but about all the wrong things. So the book came out. It was much more effective or powerful than I expected it to be. Life-changing. I think that was the first time I heard that expression. Somebody said, I read your book and it was life-changing. And what is it all about? Simply a sense of borders. There are borders that are natural, not religiously imposed. That's a different story. But there are natural borders that need to be maintained. Just very simply, if I never say no to anything because I have no borders, then when I say yes, does it mean anything? If I say yes to a relationship, does it mean anything? Is it significant? Is it intimate? If I say yes to every relationship, it has no meaning at all. So the only time yes can be exciting and meaningful is if there's also an equally strong and real no to its opposite. So for example, if you're not jealous of your spouse's attention, then you don't really love him or her. Because there are borders. What separates the yes from the no? What separates the me from everybody else? What separates a married couple from the rest of the world? There are borders. And when we play with those borders, and when they get hazy or fuzzy, the relationship immediately suffers. That's basically what the book is about, an argument in favor of borders. And modesty is simply that. It's the border between my inner life and my social life. They can't be the same. Just a quick example. According to Kabbalah and Hasidus, Love is the internal or personal application of kindness. So if you look in the list of emotions attributed to the human soul, there's kindness, there's judgment, there's compassion. Where is love? Love is not on the list. And hate is not on the list. Love and hate. Isn't that what life is all about? So it turns out that love is really a personalized version of kindness, and hate is a personalized version of judgment. I have a sense of judgment. I have an opinion about right and wrong. That's generic. But when I find you violating my judgment, my value system, then I hate you. Then the judgment comes down on you, and then it becomes hate. A person can be very kind, very generous, but to everybody, he's just a generous person. So when he shares and gives of himself, it's not personal. It's to everybody, because he's a generous soul. But when one person stands out in his mind and in his heart, and to this person he wants to be generous for personal reason, just for you, that turns the kindness, which is generic, into love. So without that border distinguishing the individual from the group, distinguishing the social from the personal, or the personal from the social, if we don't have that border, we have neither love nor hate. We have a borderless existence, and that's craziness. It's dangerous. In fact, that's why Adam and Chava, after they ate from the tree of knowledge, felt the need to get dressed. Not because they noticed anything unsavory or unholy about themselves. They were in the Garden of Eden. There was nothing unholy there. The reason they were suddenly ashamed is because they realized that they had made no distinction between the public and the private, the external and the internal. And to a great degree today, we suffer from an impoverishment of our inner life. We have very good social lives. We travel, we're cosmopolitan, we're worldly, we're debonair, we come, we go, we're everywhere. But our inner lives has become very poor, meager. There's hardly anything to our inner life. Even families behave like some kind of a social event. Homes are really just houses. There's very little life to our inner being, and we need to fix that. We need to fix it. The more we can separate from our public lives, from our social lives, and turn it inward and make it personal, the richer we're going to be internally. So the book is basically an argument in favor of make those distinctions, draw your border, make the border strong, inviolate, and enrich yourself internally. So now the book is appearing in a number of languages. It's from 1990. It's an old book, and it really needs to be upgraded, brought up to date. But as it is, it's a fundamental and important argument and defense of our inner being, our inner life. So if you want to enrich yourself, it's a good book to read.